Welcome to SoulRise Stories, where real people, real struggles, and real motivation come to life. Let's begin today's inspiring journey. When Liam was just a little boy, growing up in a broken neighborhood of Detroit, people around him never saw anything special in him. He was the kid who sat in the back row, too quiet, too lost, and always too unsure of himself. Teachers didn't remember his name. Classmates ignored him, or worse, laughed when he spoke. His shoes were old, his shirt always a bit too small, and he hardly ever smiled. His father had left when he was 3, and his mother worked double shifts as a janitor just to pay the rent of their small one-room apartment. Liam didn't have toys or internet, or even proper food sometimes. But he had a secret world inside his mind, a world full of ideas, inventions, and questions. At night, while others slept, Liam would lie awake staring at the ceiling, dreaming about changing his life, dreaming about building something the world had never seen. But every morning he'd wake up to the same life, the same insults, same empty lunchbox, same silence. One day, during science class, the teacher asked a question about renewable energy. While everyone stayed quiet, Liam raised his hand and gave a brilliant answer, explaining how turbines could work with vertical wind movement in cities. The class burst into laughter. "Even Google doesn't know that," one kid said, and the teacher just smiled awkwardly, ignoring Liam. That was the first time Liam felt the pain of being invisible. But that day, something changed inside him. He went home and started reading books from the library, old magazines, and anything he could find on energy and engineering. He didn't have a computer, so he'd stay after school just to use the public one for 30 minutes. Years passed. Liam failed 2 math tests, got suspended once for defending himself, and never made it to any school team. But he kept learning, kept building things with scrap metal, wires, and broken gadgets from dumpsters. At 16, he built a small wind-powered fan that ran without batteries and showed it at the school science fair. People laughed again. "You're not smart enough for this stuff," a judge whispered to another. Liam went home crushed, but he didn't stop. He started working part-time at a car garage, just to earn money to buy spare parts. He watched YouTube videos secretly at the library, learned coding from old PDFs, and slowly built a small energy device that could charge a phone from heat. At 18, he applied to multiple engineering colleges. Rejected. Every single one. Low grades, no references, no future, the rejection letter said. That night, he broke down. He sat alone in the rain outside his apartment and cried for the first time in years. But the next morning, he wiped his tears and made a decision. If no one would open a door for him, he would build his own. Liam started uploading videos on social media, showing his inventions, his ideas, and how they could help poor communities. At first, no one watched. But then one video, a simple heat-powered charger demo, went viral. In 2 days, it had 1 million views. People from around the world started sharing it. A retired engineer from Canada messaged him, "Your idea has potential. Don't stop." Liam used his savings to create a prototype and sent it to the engineer. They worked together for 6 months over video calls and email. Then came the Real Break, an international tech conference in Boston, invited him to speak. He had never been on a stage before, never worn a suit, never even left Detroit. He borrowed a second-hand blazer, printed his slides at the local library, and stepped onto the stage with shaking hands. "I was told I was useless," he began. "But I believe useless things only exist until someone finds their purpose." The room went silent. He showed his journey, his inventions, his purpose, to bring power to places the world had forgotten. When he finished, the audience stood up. Tears, applause, offers. A tech company offered him mentorship. A non-profit offered funding. That night, Liam didn't sleep, not because of worry, but because for the first time, he saw a door open. He started his own company at 20 Nova Spark Energy and began producing low-cost, self-powered devices for small villages and poor homes. Within 3 years, his tech was being used in over 10 countries. By age 25, Liam had spoken at Harvard, donated $2 million to schools in Detroit, and hired the same teacher who once ignored him. Reporters now called him the genius from the back bench. But Liam never forgot who he was. Every week, he visited local schools and told kids, "If no one sees your light, make it brighter." He built labs in low-income areas, gave scholarships, and taught kids that failure is not the end, it's a detour. One day, during a press conference, a journalist asked, "What kept you going when everyone said you were useless?" Liam smiled. "I believed them for a while. But then I asked myself, what if they're wrong? What if I'm more than their words?" His story is now taught in schools as a lesson in resilience. Kids who once thought they had no chance now say, "If Liam did it, so can we." And the world, it no longer calls him useless. It calls him unstoppable. Like, share, and subscribe if you felt this story hit your heart. And remember, this is your time. Stay strong.